I think we're gonna get started, guys. I actually think this will be pretty quick, truthfully. So I'd like to call this meeting to order. And Sue Ellen, you want to call the roll call?
Sure.
Attendance?
Sarah Baldwin. Patty, I hear, yeah.
Here.
Diane. Cara. Cheryl.
Here. Cara's here.
Adele. Yep,
Yeah.
I see. Andy, I saw him. Where'd he go? Andy's there, right?
Yes.
Sandy. Yep. Lindsay Kelly. No. Sheila.
I
Sheila
see Cheryl, but I haven't heard her yet. There you are.
Yes.
Okay, she's here.
Sean Wheeler. No. Shannon Silsby. Nope. Chris Taylor. Bill, I see. Okay. So we're missing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 people.
Okay. So we got 10. That's pretty good. Not bad.
Shannon Stillsby just texted, hi there, I'm attending tonight. So we can probably start, right, Adele, if you want, and then she
Yeah, we can
joins
go ahead
in.
and start. Yep, and she can join us and we'll notice Sue Ellen. Okay.
Okay. Yep.
So make a motion to approve the minutes of May 6th. Are there any corrections?
Would who approved the minute? Who is the first? Did somebody approve?
Okay.
I'll move.
Thank you, Cheryl. I was moving it myself. I'm not supposed to. Second, Sandy.
Second.
Thank you.
Okay. Any corrections or additions? Okay. Anyone who's opposed, either say so or raise your hand. Okay, there comes, as Lindsay's just joined us.
Okay.
Hi.
Hi, we just approved the minutes from the May 6th, if that's okay.
That's great.
Okay, it's unanimous then, folks. Let me mark you off there. There we go. All right. Next is discussion and vote on the recommending the appointment of William Jessup to the governor for membership on the 5 Mile River Commission. If you remember back in the winter, I gave a little speech for Craig Young to join the 5 Mile River Commission. That was asked to do that by Seth. And so this time we were assigned in time for us to have a meeting, to discuss it at our meeting last time. So once again we've been assigned I've been assigned to report on this at the meeting. So if you had a chance to look at it, there's a lot of information on William Jessup. Obviously he's been on the 5 Mile River Commission since 2004, and he certainly is a distinguished gentleman, having been past chairman of, let's see, it would be helpful if I didn't look at our notes from last meeting. He was the former chairman of Save the Sound, and he's currently the general manager of the Norotan Yacht Club, and executive director of Landfall Navigation Marine Training Center, and many other things too. So he has a lot of experience, and so I just thought it would be a good idea if we voted. on it. Anyone have any comments or questions? Anybody know him? Okay. So may I have a motion to approve, to appoint William Jessup to the 5 Mile River Commission, or actually to recommend to the governor that we, or to the RTM, that the RTM recommends to the governor to appoint William Jessup. That was Patty. And
And
second,
Sandy? Was Sandy?
and Sandy, thanks. All those in favor say aye.
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 I see Shannon has joined us too, now, Sue Ellen.
Thank you.
Okay,
So is-
anyone opposed? I think, Bill, you're on a delay, right? I think, yeah. You're saying aye, yes, okay. Okay. All right, that's that then, guys.
I'm aye, yes.
Okay. Next on the agenda is discussion and vote on the approval of a special appropriation of $250,000 to replenish the expense account for the Parks and Rec Commission. I thought you might. Yeah. Did everybody get a chance to read? Everybody get a chance to read Jack's email that I forwarded to you today, so that they're going to have an amendment to add to this resolution.
Yes.
Anybody have any questions about it? I mean, I think this is strictly accounting because the Park and Rec has done so well this year, and so they got to balance the books. I think this is the way of balancing the books. I certainly am glad that Jack's going to explain this to the RTM. They're primary, we're just secondary. So what I thought would be nice is that I'll probably try to give some statistics, a little bit of information about what are the programs and things that we have done so well with. So I'll share a little bit of that with you now, because I asked Pam Geary last week.
Yeah, yes.
What, Bill? Okay, let me pass it. Frozen. Diane. I'm afraid he is. Okay, all right. So anyway, let's see what. So this is information from Jim Coughlin and Jamie. And let's see, the Ninja program had approximately 200 participants. Pickleball lessons had approximately 170 participants. The paddle courts were up 84% from 2020 and 75% from 2019, with $104,600 in revenue in 2021.
What was that number again, Adele? 104 what?
$1,600 in revenue in 2021. The revenue in 2020 was $57,000, and the revenue in 2019 was $59,900. So they really have had a banner year, and that's why we're doing, we're having this appropriation.
Can I ask you, that paddle, that's for the rental for the paddle court?
As I said, participants in lessons.
Oh, okay. Okay, because I was going to say, I didn't think they were able to rent the paddle court because of COVID last year. Okay.
Yeah, but just participant in lessons. And the tennis and paddle were through, this is from Jim. Tennis and paddle were through the roof. Just did the final spring 2021 invoice for tennis, 500 registrants. We added some virtual programming and last spring, summer, and throughout the year. A lot of the week-long sports camps were maxed out last summer. Really, everything was up, as we were one of the few options for residents. And I think if you're going to ask the question going forward, I mean, is this going to happen again next year? The answer is they don't know. They don't know if it's an aberration. Because it's not in next year's budget, the change. But I think they're just going to wait and see. And it may well be that next fiscal year, they'll come back and we may have to do the same thing. But I think it's just too soon to know if this is a blip or if this is really, it's just going, well, it's just going great. So we'll see, you know. So that is the,
Adele, it's Andy with a question.
Sure.
You read from Jim's memo, several sources of revenue, and I'm sorry there were too many for me to add up in my head. What was the grand total? Did he say that in his memo?
Not for the tenants. You're talking about the initial information that I gave you?
Well, he had several items. Ninja was maxed out. You mentioned 135,000, I think, on something else.
I got about 4 pieces of paper here, and they've all got different numbers on them. But I think what I have is I don't have an amount of money. The only one that gave was the paddle courts that I had numbers on. It was $104,600 in revenue. That was the participants in the Ninja program and the participants in the pickleball lessons.
I see. Okay.
Okay.
Adele, just a quick comment. It's Shannon.
Sure.
Really encouraging to see, and hopefully that trial that was driven last year, given that it was one of the only options for people, will continue into this year. And then just to close, did anyone else chuckle thinking about ninjas playing pickleball when Adele was going through it? Because that's a really good idea. Maybe it's ninja pickleball. But anyway, more so, it's just exciting to see the innovation and think about ninjas playing pickleball.
Yeah, okay.
They're right across from each other, actually. The Ninja program is at Cherry Lawn, right across from where the new pickleball court is. So there could always be a crossover. You never know.
Yeah. How old do you have to be in the Ninja program? Is there an age limit?
I think we should petition for adults. It's for kids.
I'd
It's
like
for
to do a
young
Ninja
kids.
program. Let's do a
There you
Ninja
go.
adult program.
Let's put it up to Pam Geary.
I was just gonna say, talk to Jamie.
If you see it, you may pull back on it. You have to run up a ramp that looks like a skateboard ramp. So I'm pretty sure I'm
That
not
sounds fine.
capable of doing
It
that.
kind of feels like raising teenage boys.
Oh, boy. Oh man, one was enough for me. That's all I can say. That's all my response on that. Okay, folks. So would somebody, I'm going to read the resolution as Jack has sent it. Just so we're all on the same page. I think F&B will be voting on it with this addition to the wording. So here it is. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the representative town meeting of the town of Darien hereby approves a special appropriation in the amount of $250,000 to replenish the expense account for the Parks and Recreation Commission, and the representative town meeting hereby approves an increase in the Park and Recreation fiscal year 2021 revenue budget to accommodate the upcoming spring and summer programs through June 30th, 2021. May I have a motion to approve that?
Moved. So moved.
Oh, was that Cheryl? And I saw Sandy's hand go up. And Sandy?
Yep.
All those in favor say aye. Or raise your hand. Okay.
Aye.
Aye.
We lost Bill. I think we've lost Bill, Diane. We've got him 3 times on here, but I'm not hearing a response from him. Okay, so all those opposed?
Aye.
Okay, thank you,
Aye.
Bill. That's an aye from Bill. Any abstentions? I always forget.
Aye.
Thank you, Bill.
Andy's going to abstain.
Okay, Andy's abstaining. Thank you. I'm sorry, I forgot to do it on the other resolution. If anybody wanted to abstain, you stop me, please, because I forget.
And we think that Bill's aye is a delay off of an affirmative or a negative?
It's affirmative, yeah.
Aye.
And I'll double check afterwards.
Okay.
Okay. Okay. I'll move on.
Adele, before you move on, may I ask a question, just going back to 5 Mile River? So the RTM recommends somebody for the governor to appoint, and the 5 Mile River Commission's in charge of the navigation, conservation of the river. So what entity pays for expenses related to it and makes decisions about it? Is it the commission and the state funds it, or who makes decisions and funds?
Well, it's definitely a state commission.
It's a
So,
state commission, a
It's
state.
a state commission, yes, yes. But I think they kind of self-fund with the fees and things. And then they take those monies are then put back into the dredging or the whatever, you know, I believe. But
And the
it's
fee-
definitely a state, you know,
Sorry, the fees come from moorings.
yes.
Got
yes. And they replace buoys in the river, and if you're building along the river and you need a permit, you know, you go to them. So hopefully you guys, we'll talk fast. I'm getting slow network connection signs coming up. Okay. Is that any other questions? Okay, guys. We'll move on. But to the chairman's report. So just a few things, just a few follow-ups to the last commission meeting, and we've now seen the next director's report for the commission meeting on Wednesday that kind of updates us too. So I'll just go through a few things. First, I guess we all noticed from the last commission that they voted on the colors for the basketball court. So green background with blue on it. They also talked about the pickleball court and the fencing, and I see the fencing is finished, that the permanent fencing is now in and done, which is nice. And talked about the trees, the white pines that were shading the court and causing it to be slippery at times. And they discussed whether they would trim them or remove them, or and if they removed them, if they would how they would replace them. And I saw in the director's report that we just got for the commission meeting that the tree warden had suggested they be removed for safety reasons, and but they could replace them in the general area with more evergreens. And so I would guess, didn't think they voted last time, but I don't see a vote on their agenda this time either. So I think that's just because it's safety, it's going to be done that way.
That's going to be a little controversial, so we can wait and see. I think that commission is divided on that, so we'll see.
Yeah, I was kind of
There's a lot.
surprised that, yeah, they didn't have a vote or whatever. So maybe they're just gonna discuss it some more. Yeah, some people didn't want them to come out.
Because the sap really doesn't drip to the fall, so that might give them time to just do a little bit more diligence. It seemed like it was a rapid decision, maybe pushed by Sean Shea, and I'm not sure the commissioners were all in agreement with that. The pines that they're actually talking about are pretty healthy. The 4 outside ones appear to be a little less healthy. They're talking about the ones in the middle, and I mean, we'll see. I feel like you can just trim it back. I hate to see the trees taken down. They look pretty healthy, but not my call. But my takeaway is it's going to be, it's not a done deal.
Done deal yet? Okay. Libby?
May I add something? I drove by and that's an area where I used to play tennis years ago, and I loved that court because of the shade. So I don't know if we should assume this has to be done, or if we might want to offer our opinion as a group to perhaps just cut back what is unhealthy and leave the shade there.
I think it probably will be a matter of whether it's a safety issue or not, but Bill? You're not coming through, Bill. You're breaking up. Anybody else want to say something? I went and looked. I went. Okay, go ahead. I think you're gonna have to.
Do you want to talk to Adele?
No, just let her know I voted yes.
Okay, I got you.
Okay, you got that? All right, so you can hear, but you can't talk. You can't talk to them.
Yeah.
But you can hear it. Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. If you want to say something, just tell Diane. Okay. I'm sorry you had so much trouble.
I think we're getting. I'm not sure if you're hearing him because he's hearing you.
Yeah,
You
I
get
did.
double here
I
through
did.
me. And so, Bill, if you want to say
Yes.
something else, you may have to call me. Okay, again.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
All right.
Okay. Bye-bye.
I'm sorry. I didn't want you to get. He was hearing you, and you're hearing me and him through me again.
Does
All right.
anybody else want to comment on the trimming of the trees?
Adele, I would just say that if anybody from our committee wants to make a statement, they could do it individually. I don't think we have to vote on it as a group, but you could share your own
Exactly.
personal.
Exactly. You can do that, and to the Parks and Rec Commission for their meeting. Absolutely. Right. It all looked really good. I went by there yesterday, and I thought it looked nice. And but they do use every bit of the court now, whereas with the tennis, with just the one tennis court, you wouldn't have used every corner of that court, and now they're using all of it. So that may the difference in the slipperiness, et cetera, being noticeable. Okay, so I'll move on to, they also was talked a bit at the commission meeting about the new, and there were pictures in this new director's report of the changes of the Toddler Playground that we sort of talked about last week. Two pieces, one for a little tykes in the Toddler Playground for 18-month-olds and to 2, I think maybe, and then the 2 to 5-year-olds, another piece. And I just have to tell you that my 4.5-year-old grandson said it just wasn't as good as the old one, but never mind.
Well, everybody's enjoying it because I was there a lot.
Probably a little safer, right, by now.
And everybody was all over it. And I think actually it's almost used more than the old equipment because it's more user-friendly and closer to the ground. So it provided more access for them to climb on it.
And for the littler people too. And not only that, they got rid of the sand that should have gotten rid of the bees that were there in the summer, which were a problem. So, I mean, that was part of it too, to get rid of the sand that was in that playground, to dig it out so they got rid of the bees that were nesting there. So that was cool, but they did say that it cost more money than naturally, $5,000 more than they thought it was going to. And so that's so that I guess they were waiting to see if they have funds to install the hand-me-down swings that they were going to put at Baker. So that I'm sure we'll hear more about that. And also they discussed upgrading or the 5 to 12-year-old playground. There was extra signage that had been promised, and I noticed when I was there that the signage is there and at every corner of that playground. They also talked about perhaps adding the replacement of that playground at to the 5-year plan. And there was a discussion about possible public-private fundraising, because it would be a big ticket item, a lot more expensive than upgrading the toddler playground was. More like between $80,000 and $300,000. So to be continued, I guess, right? Also, we talked about the porta potty at Highland last meeting, and I see that the commission talked about it too, and did discuss that it would only be there for the sports season and would be removed. And I see that it has been removed.
It's gone. Yep.
It has been removed. But, you know, the discussion that we had, we were saying that, you know, screening, if it was going to be there during sports season regularly, would be a good idea, natural screening. And I think that's what the commission sort of said too. So you saw the letter from Jenny Schwartz that Patty and Diane sent along, that sort of talked about, you know, the Highland Farm and the landscaping and what's happened now, which is really good, because we knew about the overrun on the costs of the walkway and the parking lots. And so we knew about the transfer that Kate went for to pay for that, and to pay for Weston and Sampson's help going through the process. And we also know that the steep contract was received last week by the town, and that P&Z extended their deadline for when the landscaping gets done. Long story short, the planting should be done in the fall, and you know, $92,000 will be for the from the steep grant will be for planting, and I assume they'll solve all the world's problems with when they put it in. No, actually, they're going to screen the parking lots particularly, and I would hope the porta potty as well. So, and then a bit of I think hopefully some plantings for the pollinator pathway too. I'll see how far their $92,000 goes. I think that was a nice resolution. Let's see. There was another. You also saw another transfer for a pear tree for the painting, to pay for the painting at pear tree in the bathhouse and in the concession, which all got painted. And then I think that the Parks and Rec Commission, the department had planned to go back to the Board of Finance for some of the funding, but in the end, it all got painted at one time, and so they needed the funds transferred within their budget to cover the cost, which they did. So that was a good thing, because it all got painted. And it looked
Can I ask Cheryl a question? Cheryl's
Sure.
on, right?
Yeah.
Cheryl, so I'm in California now because I'm at my son's graduation, but the last time I was down there before I left, not that long ago, the door at the concession was still really rusty down below. And so I just didn't know when they said I'm asking Cheryl because you're there the most of anyone that I know that on this committee. I don't know if you saw a difference more recently in the last 4 days or so, because that didn't seem like that was painted. And my impression was if they were painting it, they were kind of cleaning everything up. Did you see any difference by chance?
I'll have to look at that again. I did look at the ladies' room door down at the bottom. That was not cleaned up. That's all rusted and had a hole in it. But I will check on that again, because I haven't been down there that much because of the weather. But I will look tomorrow.
I saw the interiors of the bathroom, and those looked good. You know, they had completely
Looked fairly
the painting.
good. Yes, we're still waiting for the sinks to be painted, and I thought maybe they would clean up the shower stall bottom, on the bottom, the rust a little bit better, but maybe that can't be done. So we shall see. I was not able to go into the concession stand. I did write Lori and asked if when she and Pam went in there that if I was there, I would meet them there, and I would like to go in and see how the concession area went and how that all made out, and the lifeguards area, but I haven't heard that from them at all. So I would like to, either Adele or myself should really see that.
Does anyone know if there's still a plan to put mirrors in the ladies' room?
That was on the list. I don't know anything more. To my knowledge, nothing more has been done than this painting. So,
nothing.
Yeah, well, and I think you probably can figure out why, because there's no funds left in the budget to do that. So they've used all their funds. So, but it's almost a new year. So it's a question to keep asking if you want, you know, it's certainly a question to keep asking. And Cheryl, I have a question for you though. Did they paint the exterior things that they had said they were going to paint?
Not yet.
The in-house. Okay, so it's possible that those doors were the in-house.
Adele, is that something you could ask on behalf of our committee at the commission meeting?
Sure. I think maybe the in-house painting hasn't been done yet.
Doors, mirrors.
Yeah.
So
It's a
Adele,
reminder about the standards we are setting for the parks. This seems a minimal request.
Look, I'll do that.
Great.
Adele, on another, well, Patty also, you had said they were going to put planters down there with flowers in them, and there is nothing there. Adele, I have another question. I was wondering, they put in a Wi-Fi line down at Pear Tree, and I was wondering, I never heard through the commission meetings what that cost was. And if in fact, did they have to put one at Weed, or was there one already there at Weed? But I'd like to know what it costs to have that Wi-Fi line put in down at Pear Tree.
Okay. Okay.
Thanks.
Will do.
Thank
Anybody
you.
else any more questions about the premises? Okay. Let me see. Oh, another transfer that we saw come in, I think it was in May, actually. They also got asked for funds to pay for the extra cleaning that they have done for COVID, which was 14,000 plus. And the Board of Finance approved that. The McGuan, as we noticed, the McGuan concession went back to the Little League. So
And it's good.
yes, I think so. I think probably everyone's happy. And I did send you the Board of Selectmen's Board of Selectmen's agenda from their last meeting, at which they said they were going to make appointments to the Park and Rec Commission, but they did not. They had another candidate come forward at the last minute, and so they were going to interview that candidate, and so we will wait and see when they appoint people to the commission. So that's yet to be done. And last but not least, what I have to mention is the pride flag, which was in the news. We all saw it, I'm sure. I sent it to everybody. The commission at their last two meetings voted that the pride flag could be flown with the American flag at the Pear Tree Point Beach, because that's actually the only flag they have control over. You know, I think Lori made a big deal about finding out about what proper flag protocol was, you know, what you could and couldn't do. That if you fly, you can fly another flag with the American flag. it must be smaller, and on and on. So anyway, what the commission said was, we would like that, we need, since we don't have a light on it, that American flag doesn't stay up. It has to be put up and taken down. And so it is done by the lifeguards. So it is done when the lifeguards are on duty. And so that's what was supposed to happen, and that's what's happening now. When the lifeguards are on duty, they put up the American flag with the pride flag in the month of June and take it down at the end of the day. Now, inadvertently, the pride flag was put up on its own last week, and that, as you all saw, it was removed and a small American flag and it put in its place. So I think that was only up for about a day. There was an issue, and at any rate, a replacement flag was given to the Parks and Rec Commission, and it's back to being flown with the American flag as appropriate. And it should be flown on its own. Should be flown with on an American flagpole. That was inappropriate, and so it was just a mistake that it happened, and now it's all back to where it's supposed to be. So that's all I know about it. Does anybody have any questions or comments? No? Okay, guys. Let me off easy here. That's it for the chairman's report. Is there any other business?
I have a question.
Mm-hmm.
I don't understand. I don't understand the whole Edgerton situation, but I did learn at our last meeting that $75,000 to clean up that area was turned down for the time being. But is that considered a part?
It was voted for in the budget.
Yeah, we
It was
voted
voted
for
for in
the
our
budget.
main budget.
It was voted on in the floor of the RTM.
So where does that stand now? Will it be done?
Yes.
Oh, good, good. I thought it was rejected. But my question is, still, is that considered a park?
No.
I don't think so. It's not a designated park.
So if so, I'm thinking, why not? Why not work to have that become a park? Because it's an area where there's so many people living close to it. It's a large area that could be used, quite well. And I see so much money going into Highview, and this looks so neglected. So would it help if it was considered a park, and how could we make that happen?
Well, it probably would, but right now it's under the auspices of the selectmen, and we can make our point for that, but it's up to them whether and right now I don't believe, but I can't speak for them. I don't believe they're ready to be designated a park.
And once they designate it a park, if they were to designate it a park, as Adele's mentioning, I don't think they're ready to do it, because if they do designate it as a park, then it can't not become a park if we suddenly had a huge influx of students and had to build, a smaller extension of a school or something there. So my gut feeling is it's a wait and see, but while we're waiting to see, let's make it really nice so people can use it in that area. Oh, and all throughout town.
Yeah, they could make it they could then ask for it back. They can make it a park and ask to take it back. However, if they did that, they'd have to replace it with park with the same amount of park acreage elsewhere.
Mm-hmm.
So, and then it becomes difficult, I think. So,
right.
I think it's flexibility, but yeah. So I was real, personally was really pleased that money went through and they're going to clean up the site, and it'll at least
I'm
be
glad to hear that. I didn't realize it had gone through. I thought it was rejected.
It passed. I have one thing to say under new business. I just wanted to say that I sign-in desk at the Bicentennial. It was pushed back from Friday to Saturday. That was now a full week ago. And it was, boy, the Jamie Gore, Pam Geary, and the whole Bicentennial crew did an amazing, amazing job. The band was great. The food was wonderful. They were organized. There were so many different ages on the beach, and they had as Adele said, if you looked at the photos from the director's report from Pam Geary, that they had tables with little white covers on it, but it was a perfect night too. Like just everything came together, and then they had that big 200th bicentennial picture that everybody could take a picture in front of. So just a big shout out to that committee and to Lori and Jamie and Pam for doing an amazing job.
Yeah, and I mean, they certainly went through the wars and so they deserve that good night.
Yeah, and a year later, right?
Yeah, a year later, and then a day later, and so yeah. So, anything else, guys? Okay, well then I'll take a motion to adjourn. And
So moved.
all those in favor? Aye. And I'll see you in September, unless there's a reason to come back before then, unless we have to call a special meeting. Everybody have a wonderful summer. The commission, I think, does have meetings, June, July, August. So welcome to attend. So every once in a while they'll cancel them, so you may just pay attention to the website. But yeah, so see you in September, guys.
Have a good
Okay.
summer, everybody.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Summer off.
Take care.
Too.